welcome everyone to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I'm your host Sam and you're watching Daily Immigration News. Now let's get into today's headlines. Firstly, ICE targets immigrants in sanctuary cities, ignites concern across major US areas. Washington DC plane crashed, 28 feared dead in collision between passenger jet and military helicopter. Indian student from Hyderabad killed in road accident in the US. Trump questions air traffic control after Washington DC plane and military helicopter crash. No survivors found. Kash Patel set for US Senate confirmation hearing as FBI director nominee. US deports criminal immigrants to Guatemala using military aircraft. Stampede at Kumbh Mela, lives lost during Holy Dip. Trump demands US federal employees return to office by February 6 or face termination. Trump ends grant freeze after dispute with Congress. Trump signs law to detain immigrants who commit crimes. So these were some of the headlines, and now let's get into the details. ICE targets immigrants in sanctuary cities, ignites concerns across major US areas. Recently, ICE made its largest single-day raid under the Trump administration, arresting 956 people. But not all of them were criminals. Many were non-violent or had no criminal records. Remember, being undocumented isn't a crime, it's a civil violation. And these raids are happening in cities like New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and more. Even sanctuary cities are not off limits, with ICE teaming up with the FBI and DEA for operations. So why are these raids happening? The Trump administration says they are focusing on criminals, but many worry law-abiding immigrants are being caught in the crossfire. ICE is aiming to arrest 1,200 to 1,500 people a day, and that's way more than under the Biden administration. Washington, D.C. plane crashed, 28 feared dead in collision between passenger jet and military helicopter. A tragic plane crash in Washington, D.C. has left 28 people feared dead. On Wednesday night, a passenger jet with 64 people on board collided with a military helicopter during a training exercise. The crash occurred just minutes before landing at Reagan National Airport. Rescue teams have recovered 28 bodies from the river where both aircraft fell. Fire Chief John Donnelly stated that no survivors are expected due to the difficult weather and water conditions. Authorities are investigating the cause of the collision as recovery efforts continue. Indian student from Hyderabad killed in road accident in the US. A tragic road accident in Plymouth County, Massachusetts, claimed the life of a 28-year-old Indian student, Mohammad Wajid, on January 28. Originally from Hyderabad, Wajid had moved to Chicago 4 years ago to pursue postgraduate studies. The accident occurred when Wajid, driving a semi-truck, failed to stop at a stop sign and collided with a grain truck. Sadly, Wajid was pronounced dead at the hospital, while the driver of the other truck was unharmed. Wajid was an active member of the NRI Minority Congress Committee and was well loved by his community. His parents in Hyderabad are in mourning, and arrangements are being made to bring his body back home. Trump questions air traffic control after Washington, D.C. plane and military helicopter crash. No survivors found. In a tragic incident near Washington, D.C., a passenger plane carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members collided mid-air with a U.S. Army helicopter while landing at Ronald Reagan National Airport. The crash occurred late Wednesday, resulting in both aircraft plunging into the Potomac River. Emergency services have recovered 18 bodies so far, with no survivors found. President Donald Trump has raised concerns over the incident, questioning the tactics used by air traffic controllers and the helicopter crew. In a post on Truth Social, Trump criticized the response of the military helicopter, suggesting that the crash could have been avoided. The airplane was on a perfect line of approach. Why didn't the helicopter avoid it? Trump wrote. Audio from the air traffic control tower revealed that moments before the crash, the controller had warned the helicopter about the approaching plane, but no response was received. The Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) has grounded flights at Reagan National, and multiple agencies are investigating the crash site. Kash Patel set for US Senate confirmation hearing as FBI director nominee. Kash Patel, nominated by President Donald Trump to lead the FBI, is set to appear before the US Senate for his confirmation hearing on January 30th. During the hearing, senators from both parties will have the chance to question Patel on his qualifications and past remarks about the FBI. Democrats are expected to focus on Patel's past criticism of the FBI and his professional background, raising concerns about the stance on the agency's leadership. Patel has previously advocated for reducing the FBI's power, a position supported by some Republicans who believe the agency has unfairly targeted conservatives in recent years. However, the current FBI Director, Christopher Wray, has denied these claims. US deports criminal immigrants to Guatemala using military aircraft. The United States, under President Donald Trump's administration, has deported undocumented immigrants with criminal records to Guatemala as part of its effort to combat illegal immigration. On Thursday, two military planes were used to transport the deported individuals. According to the U.S. defense official, the planes arrived in Guatemala on Friday. The White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed the deportation flights, stating that the U.S. is sending a strong message against illegal entry. She emphasized that those who enter the U.S. unlawfully will face severe consequences. Strengthening border control remains a key priority for the Trump administration. Stampede at Kumbh Mela, lives lost during Holy Dip. A stampede at the Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj led to several deaths as millions gathered for the Holy Dip at the confluence of three rivers. While VIPs were safe, it was regular pilgrims who were caught in the tragedy. Despite the loss, many believe those who die during the Kumbh are blessed and go to heaven. The event celebrates the ancient story of the nectar of immortality, and this year's rare planetary alignment has drawn even more people seeking spiritual blessings. Trump demands U.S. federal employees return to office by February 6 or face termination. President Donald Trump has issued a warning to U.S. federal employees saying they must return to in-person work by February 6 or risk losing their jobs. The move is part of Trump's plan to downsize the government and make it even more efficient. The government is offering buyouts and a deferred resignation program, this allowing employees to resign with benefits until September 2025. Employees who do not return to work by the deadline will be fired, and Trump believes many will not show up, shrinking the federal workforce. Trump ends grant freeze after dispute with Congress. In a recent move, President Donald Trump has decided to end the freeze on federal grants and loans, which had caused a major dispute with Congress. The freeze was initially put in place to review government spending and make sure it aligned with the Trump administration's priorities. However, Congress opposed this move, arguing that only they have the constitutional right to control spending decisions. Following a court ruling that blocked the freeze, the White House has decided to withdraw the memo. President Trump explained that the freeze was meant to investigate government waste and ensure that taxpayers' money was being used properly. Although the freeze is now lifted, the administration says it will continue enforcing other executive orders related to federal spending. While some Republicans support the move, Democrats have criticized it, saying it still limits fundings and causes confusions. Trump signs law to detain immigrants who commit crimes. President Donald Trump has signed the Laken-Riley Act into law, which allows immigration officers to detain the unauthorized immigrants who are arrested for certain crimes. The law comes after the tragic death of 22-year-old Laken Riley, a nursing student, who was killed in 2024 by an undocumented immigrant. The new law aims to prevent such tragedies by ensuring that immigrants without legal status are detained and possibly deported if they are accused of serious crimes like theft, assault, or burglary. Trump has also emphasized that this law is important for keeping U.S. communities safe and preventing crimes by people living in the country without permission. The law has received support from both Republicans and Democrats in Congress and is also seen as a major step in Trump's broader immigration reform efforts. The president believes it will help secure the nation's borders and protect American citizens. Well, that's all for today's update. If you found this video helpful, then make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Stay connected, stay tuned, and we'll be coming back tomorrow with more updates. See you tomorrow.